Good morning and welcome to Devotions. The theme this week has mostly been about wisdom. And so the title of this is, How do we attain wisdom? Biblical wisdom is more than just knowledge or intelligence. It involves discernment, moral insight, and the ability to apply knowledge in a way that aligns with God's will. The Bible frequently states that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 9:10 and Psalm 111:10. This fear is not being afraid of God, but rather having a deep respect or of reverence and an awe for His majesty and authority. It involves recognizing God's sovereignty and aligning one's life accordingly. Wisdom is a gift that God bestows upon those who seek it earnestly. In the book of James 1:5 it says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all, without finding fault, and it will be given to you." Given to those who sincerely ask for it. Biblical wisdom is action-orientated. It involves living righteously, making just decisions, and acting in ways that are consistent with God's commandments. The book of Proverbs is full of practical advice, covering topics such as integrity, humility, diligence, and the importance of listening to counsel. Wisdom is often linked to humility. Proverbs 11:2 says, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom." Humility is seen as a key trait for those who seek wisdom, because it involves recognizing one's limitations and the need for God's guidance. Now, how do we attain this biblical wisdom? Acknowledge His authority and seek to live in a way that honors Him. Pray for that wisdom, or the gift of discernment. That's also a lovely one. Trusting that God would grant it generously, as promised in James 1-5. Dig into wisdom literature such as Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Job, as they offer deep insights into what it means to live wisely. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no guidance, people fall, but in an abundance of counselors there is safety," as I've mentioned. Learning from the experience and insights of others is a key way to grow in wisdom. I was lucky enough when I lived in Escort to have a group of older women as my friends and as my support. And I can remember going to a lady once and being really upset because my oldest daughter still had the dummy. And she sat back in her chair and she looked at me and she said, "You know what, Mel, I've never seen a bride walking down the aisle with a dummy." And I just realized that, yes, one needs to put things into perspective and not get too worked up about it. Approach life with humility, as true wisdom often involves recognizing one's limitations and being open to learning and correction. Wisdom is demonstrated through righteous living and making decisions that reflect God's values. Wisdom is a reverence of God, a practical application of knowledge, and moral discernment. Attaining wisdom requires seeking God through prayer, His Word, and living out that action, His principles in everyday life. Amen, and I hope to see you next time.